Hello YouTubers, I've had a request to do a sort of couple of videos using my Samsung ST60. Now, as you guys know, I've got this Samsung to replace my Samsung PL150 that I sold in order to get one of my other cameras because the Panasonic didn't work with my digiscoping, whereas this does. So what I'm going to do is this is a kind of YouTube type sample that I'm doing, and then what I'll do is I'll do some video shots outside and take a few pictures. Right, so I shall read off the specifications. 12.2 megapixels, smart auto, still and movie, 27.5mm wide angle lens, 4x optical zoom, 2.7 inch TFT LCD display, high definition movie 720p at 30 frames per second, smart face recognition, perfect portrait system, beauty shot, face detection, self portrait, smile shot, blink detection, red eye fix, smart album, smart filter, digital image stabilization and ISO 3200. I think that's pretty much all the stuff that it says. You can't hook up the mains to this and record at the same time, which is a bit of a bummer, but then, you know, I don't really need it for that because I use it outside. It does VGA at 30 frames per second, and I think it does QVGA at 60 frames per second. Why it can't do 720p at 60 frames, don't know, but it does do 30 frames per second. Now, when I first used this, I was quite impressed with the mic, and if I hadn't have got the flip, I probably would have used this instead for my weight loss vlogs, but because the flip has got better sound, then that's why I'm using that instead. There are a few little things that niggle me about it, like the battery door comes slightly open when you put it on a tripod mount, which is a little bit annoying, but I think that's about the only thing that did annoy me. As cameras go, it is a nice little camera and I quite like it. The screen is not touchscreen, which I prefer. It's got loads of options on it, both in video and in picture mode. I don't think you can increase the volume on it. I think I did try, but then as far as I'm concerned, I think the audio is high enough anyway. So as far as I'm concerned, it's perfect for my digiscoping. I think if you wanted to use it for YouTube videos, then it probably would be a good alternative to the Pocket HD camcorders if you wanted the combination of a decent stills camera and some good quality 720p video as well. Obviously there are loads of other Samsung digital cameras and you know, Panasonic cameras and all the rest of it. The reason I got this was because it was quite relatively cheap and I could afford to get it. I think there are better versions of it, like 14 megapixels and, you know, better options than what this one can do, but as far as I'm concerned, it does the job and it does it well. Okay, well, that's enough of me spieling on. Now I'm going to take some videos of it out the front so that you guys can see what it's like. Now, one of the things with the zoom, you do have the option to have it so that when you zoom in and out, it will actually mute the audio, which I would suggest you do, because this is one of the cameras where when you zoom in and out, it picks up the sound that the zoom makes. It can make a difference to your video. So at the moment I've got the audio option so that it turns the audio off when I'm zooming in and out when I'm recording, and you'll be able to see that in a minute. Okay, so I shall do some video shots and I'll put in some stills as well so that you guys can see what it's like, and that's about it. Okie dokie. Okay, so here we have 720p at 30 frames per second. I've got the audio mute option on and the image stabilization on. Obviously when I zoom in, it will mute the sound so that you don't hear all the clicking and whirring in the background. I prefer this option because I am unlikely to talk when I zoom. But I would recommend you do this because you're not really going to be able to hear what's going on if you don't anyway. So let's try out the zoom. 4 times optical zoom. You can't use digital in this video mode for some reason. Whether you will be able to in VGA or the other settings, I'm not sure, and I'll have to play around with it to see if you can. But I do think it does do quite a good job. I do like this camera. It is quite a good camera. One thing I did forget to mention is the fact that it takes SDHC cards instead of the micro SD cards, which I prefer because it means that I can just take the card out of my camera, shove it straight into my computer, and I don't have to worry about getting little converters or hooking up USB leads or what have you. So I do prefer to have an SDHC card. I think in the PL150 that I had, it was a micro SD card, which was a little bit annoying. Just try the zoom again. I do think this is it does do quite a good job, and it was quite cheap as well, so I am very pleased with it. So there you go, that's my little video sample. Next up I shall be showing you a couple of stills that this can do. I hope this has helped, and I'll do some more later on. Okay, bye bye for now.